video is going to be about my experience as a Forever 21 worker. Let's start off. Well, I got hired for Forever 21 as the seasonal worker, which at the time was like, I didn't know that was going to be the situation. And I was like, I really wanted a new job from what I was working from before, because I was so done with that job. But I was like, you know what, let me just take the seasonal, but with seasonal, if, some of you guys don't know, with seasonal, you're hired for the season only. So it's basically Black Friday, Thanksgiving, Christmas time. Around those months is when they're going to need you the most. And that's what you're hired for, because if y'all, some of you guys don't know, Black Friday is crazy. That's retail, everything. So they hire a bunch of employees for those times and solely for those times. So once those seasons are over, you're basically cut for the most part, depending on your performance. If they really like you, then they'll make you a full-time worker, as in they'll make you a permanent worker. If not, then they'll cut you loose, and that's it. Like, you can't be like, oh, how can you, because they tell you that's what seasonal is. You're only hired for this season. So I was hired for the season. Now, with that being said, that basically meant that this wasn't going to be a stable job, because I need a job, I have stuff to pay for, whatever. So I was still currently working at the job I'm at now. So ultimately, that meant that I'd have to have two jobs, because I wasn't going to quit the job that I have a spot in for this seasonal job in hopes that maybe they would, keep me after. I basically, like I said, stayed at the job I'm at now, because it was a position that I had for sure. I wasn't going to quit my current job to be at a job, like I said, in hopes that Forever 21 would keep me. So, I was like, you know what, I can do this. I'm the type, I'm not going to be like, okay, I can't do this. I'm not going to do both jobs. I'm like, what, I can do this. And, I'm in school as well. So I'm like, okay, I have school and I have two jobs. Okay. So basically, I had to juggle all three. So I was like, all right, cool. Now, I was so excited. Now, let me tell you, when I got hired, the interview process, everything. So applied. I've been applying to a bunch of places. I was applying because I wanted to get out of my job so bad. Around the season time is where everyone's hiring. So I applied. I'm like, okay, let me just apply to Forever 21 just because, why not? And it's one of my favorite stores. I hadn't really been shopping there that much at the time, but my mom knows, people know, like, it's Forever 21. So I applied, and what happened? I went there, applied, and then they told me to come in. I forgot what day, Tuesday or whatever. Come in, you're gonna have an interview. So I was like, okay, But then I'm the type that I don't like to get my hopes up too much in case it doesn't happen or it doesn't work out. And some people may say, oh, you're thinking negative, but I'm just realistic. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, yeah, I'm going to get, this is what's going to happen. So I was like, okay. Went in for the interview. I felt like the interview went great, but a lot of times when I would think things went great, it's not that it was bad, but it just didn't end up happening. So I was in class and I had a call. I didn't know, whatever. I listened to the voicemail, and it was from Forever 21. She's like, oh, you got the job. I was like, and inside I'm like in class, y'all, in my chemistry class, like, mind you, it's the most boring class. Like, it's not even the work, it's the freaking teacher. Like, she is so boring. So I was like, oh man. So I legit got up, went out into the hallway, and I was like, jumping up and down, jumping everywhere. I was going crazy. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I got the job. Like, I was like, oh my God, excited. And went and called my cousin. We were like screaming. I'm outside jumping around. People probably looking at me like I'm crazy. I was like, I don't even care. I was so freaking excited. Like, I don't understand. Like, I was so excited. I could not believe I got the job and everything. I was like, oh my God. And my orientation was on Sunday. So it was most likely, I believe it was a Thursday, because that's when I got. So it was Thursday. I had an orientation on Sunday from I think 8 or 9 to, I think it ended at almost 1 o'clock. So we got paid for that, whatever. So I was like, oh my God. So excited. Went in, did the orientation. It was long as hell. They go through the basics of what they require, what it is. He goes on to store policies. You do a walk around the store. Now, mind you, this store in this mall is huge. Okay, it has all the brands, it has everything, it has Plus, it has Kids, it has Active, you have all the separate, I don't want to call them brands, but because they're not called brands there, but sections, like every section has its own name basically. Like you have girly girl, you have they have girly girl, you have edgy girl, you have now girl, you have free spirit, you have I can't think of the name right now, but basically there's more than that. So that's what they call certain sections, and then those names correspond to the styles in those sections. So you went through all that. Of course, it's your first time, just like, like, oh my god, I don't know how I'm going to remember all this stuff and, what goes in. Of course, she just gave a general basis as far as what it is that goes on, as far as clocking in, how it is, whatever, da-da-da. So it's my first day. My first day was pretty short shift. I think I was working, it wasn't 12. Was it 12 to 6? I don't remember. Which sounds a lot now that I think about it, kind of. I don't remember, but I had my first shift and it was just like, I had someone who was training me, and it was overwhelming in the sense of all of the things that go into it. She's like, okay, look, this is how it is. You have to put things, stylize them, organize, put this here, hangers have to be turned this way, stylizing, you have to do stuff. So basically stylizing, you have to have things like it's organized. There's a lot that goes into this, guys. Like, no lie. It's not just oh, here's clothes, put the hanger there. This is not Ross. Okay, no, I'm not going to throw shade at Ross like that, because I don't know what the workers go through. They might have to do that too, but because when I do, which I never do go into Ross because I just can't, it looks like shit. I can't deal with all that. I don't know. Whatever. But, what was I saying? So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. There's levels to this, for real, like levels. Okay, it's not just no one thing. It's not you just putting the hangers in. You have to literally, you're going in and you're organizing things to the T, every detail. So stylizing, sleeve lengths, go with sleeve lengths. Styles, if you have stuff with lace, you're not gonna put lace stuff next to certain materials. Like, let's say you have a bunch of lace, you're not gonna put a material that's leather in between the lace. Like, it has to be separated. Styles have to go with styles. If you're having dresses and you have long shirts, if the dresses are longer than the shirts, you need to organize that around where, like, there's in each section, and you have to blend things. Blending meaning, let's say you pick out a shirt, that may be the last shirt in the bunch. If that's the case, then you have to go in and you have to find a section of clothing that can, where that piece of clothing can blend in with the rest of the items, where blend in, like you're gonna say it belongs there. You're not gonna put in a black lace shirt with a bunch of, let's say, some rust colored velvet stuff, even though those won't even be together in the same section in that store anyway, but just as an example. So that's what you do as far as blending is involved. Hangers have to be in a question mark shape position. We put them up. Hangers go to hangers. What is it called? ZBTE, zip button tie edge. When you're folding your stuff, needs to be crisp. Any clothing, let's say you have leather jackets, if they're in the front of the, what do they call those? They don't call them racks there. Whatever. If you have a jacket in the front, you need to make sure it's buttoned up, it's zipped up, everything is zipped. Don't matter if it's a button up shirt, if you want to be lazy, like we would be lazy, we would kind of hide that and put that, clothing in between there. So, whatever is buttoned and is crisp and nice that no one touched, we put in the front, basically. But that's how it's supposed to look. Tables have to be folded, everything, and then go back. So that's a whole nother. Okay. So let me just tell you, let me go into my feelings about that store. Y'all, it's fucking crazy, okay? Crazy. I can't even put it in words. Like, it's so much that goes into it. The hours alone, like, let me tell you, if you're, I don't even know if I can say that. It's probably because of holiday season, whatever, but I feel like the store is always packed. The hours are crazy, okay? You can work, you can come in to close. Closing is usually 4 to close. Some people have 3 to close. If you're coming in 4 to close, you're not leaving until after 12. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock sometimes. That's how it is. So imagine all those hours. You're getting 8 hours from going 4 to 12. Add on to, you can easily work 10 hours there. Easily. And that's just on a regular. Imagine that. So you're going to get your hours. It's not hard to go overtime over there. It's definitely not hard. But the work is crazy. Like, between customers, they're throwing stuff everywhere. These customers be acting like they never seen a rack of clothes before. They never been in a clothing store. They never seen a shirt before. The way they just, this is them all through everything. They just toss, and you're picking up. Like, I don't like to clean up after people. I don't like to do that. I don't like to do that. That's how I feel like I'm cleaning up somebody's bedroom. So I would literally look at them like, just to see, just out of curiosity, to really see if they're gonna try and even pick that up and toss that somewhere or really mess that up. You know what I'm saying? And now, mind you, I'm not gonna act like I was like, before I'd be like, oh hey, let me go in and kind of like take, like, but I'm not, I wasn't throwing shit everywhere, but of course I wasn't as conscious of what it is that I was doing when I would be shopping there. I wasn't like, oh, okay, let me turn this hanger that way. I don't know. So I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, you guys don't even know what zip button ties. You can't even button back the jackets on the first. Like, people aren't gonna know that. Obviously, they're not gonna be. But it's like, damn, can you be courteous? Like, if you see a table, folded nicely and stuff, and they just will literally just pick that stuff up and just reckless, y'all. When I tell you the cami tables, if you've gone to any clothing store, gone to a Forever 21, a cami table is legit camis stacked, folded perfectly. That's what the cami tables are. Straight camis. You've seen them. They'll have them in all a bunch of colors: white, yellow, orange, green, black, gray, all the colors you can think of on the cami table. That cami table, at the end of the night, there's probably hundreds of camis on that table, like, at least in the one I worked at. Literally a table, oh my god, probably, it was huge. I can't even, like, I don't even know what to use as an example, but huge cami tables with levels, like rows. You'll have probably 3 or 4 rows all the way around full of camis, and there are 2 tables of them destroyed, like thrown everywhere, like piled up. People just, you know what I mean? And we have to fold that. You have to go in, you have to fold that. At the end of the night, who's ever responsible for that section, you go in, you fold it. You have to get all that done. Now, that alone is just, I can't, like, you can get a legit headache working. Like, you just get a headache. Like, between all the chaos going on, everybody's going around asking, oh, you have this. Now I get it. It's a clothing store. I understand. It's a clothing store. People are going to ask you where stuff are, whatever. But damn, like, seriously, literally, here's, excuse me, do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? And it's just like, okay, y'all, just because something is online, just because you type in a certain whatever that's online on a Forever 21 site, does not mean that it'll be in this particular store, or that it'll be in stores at all. People just think that just because it's online, that means it's going to be in the store. It's not the case. Nope to you guys. It's not the case. It's not always going to be there. Okay? Sorry. But you have to try and help them find, come help me find where this is. You got to walk all around the store, try and figure out where this is at. And that's where the memorization comes in. You need to be on point when it comes to knowing what clothes go in that section, because when it's time, people ask you where do you think this is, or where do you keep that. A lot of questions are, where do you have something that I can wear with this, or I'm going out here to a party, I need something that's short, I want something like a bodycon dress, I want something with lace, where your leather jacket's at. You need to know where everything goes. So that's the thing that you definitely have to be quick with when you're working there. You need to know, and you need to learn, and you need to study where each piece of clothing is, or what style corresponds to that certain section. And some items in there and some styles are very similar, so you have to be able to keep note of small details that can correspond to that particular style or spot. So, And because the store is so huge, there's so much clothing, y'all. There's so much clothing. And when you're walking through, like with me, when I'd walk through, I'd have to, like, I would literally go through and look at everything, like, be very observant where things are at. Just because, especially when you're doing your clothing, you know, or when you're in a certain section, a lot of times, you know, of course, you become accustomed to what stuff go there, what clothing goes there. But we do get new clothes. Things do get changed around. Styles do get changed around. You can't rely on, like, okay, I'm going to memorize where everything is in the room. You can't rely on that because they literally change the layout every night. Night comes in, the, you know, night, what are they called? Overnights. They come in and they legit change the layout every day. So nothing is never ever the same. So you can't rely on that necessarily because things get moved around a lot. So you have to really memorize the piece of clothing, not necessarily where they're at, but just know, okay, this is in my section or this is in that section, which is stressful. Let me tell you, it's very stressful because they're always moving stuff, especially depending on how big your section is. It is very stressful, especially when a lot of items are blended, because blended items means that these are the last pieces. So it's not like, okay, here I can see clearly that there's a whole rack of this one item. No, it's not like that. A lot of stuff are blended, so you have to go through them. And with the blended, like I said, blended means they basically all look the same. So you have to go through all of that basically look exactly the same, okay? It's sad. Now, let me get you on the dreaded go backs. Okay, go backs, if you're in retail, you know what go backs are. Bless your heart, bless your soul, because go backs are hell. Okay, they suck the life out of you. It feels like your soul is missing. By the end of the night, you're just like, oh my god, Forever 21, what? And you just want to push that button and goodbye. Okay, that's how go backs are. Now, go backs are all you lovely people who go into the fitting room and are like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm going to try on 2 mesh bags of clothes because I know I'm going to buy all of them. When you know you're not going to buy anything. Maybe you'll buy 1 or 2 items. You're not going to buy all of that. But you want to try it on anyway. And you want to try on 3, 4, 5, 10 camis that are all the same but in different colors. Because colors determine how they're going to fit on your body. That's what you guys do. So all you lovely people go in and do that, and then you don't want more than half of it, and you just kind of throw them on the rack in the fitting room. Us beautiful people have to go back and have to take all your clothes and put them back where they belong. Now in the fitting room, the people in the fitting room, they sort all of those clothes that all you lovely people throw and don't want anymore in your tens and millions of mesh bags. Go in, and everyone in the back has to sort them in each section. So fitting room has to know where everything goes. They need to know what styles go here, what go there, because they're put on the rack. Now sometimes they're not right. Sometimes certain things don't go somewhere. So us who are in the section, there's usually 2 people. There's 2 people in the section. You're really 3 people if you're lucky, and that's very rare for you to get 3 people in the section, honestly. Because, like, it's not going to happen, which I think is so retarded because you need that many people. You need 3 people in the section, honestly. Because it's like ridiculous. You need, for go backs alone, that's a 2 people job. And that's just to make it. It would be better to have more people to do go backs, but at least 2 people doing go backs and 1 person making sure cleaning the room, which is another term that I'm going to get into, which I'm trying not to get to like an hour of talking about this, but that's what that goes to. So go backs, yeah, so we come in and then we'll go through the rack to see what's ours. And they'll legit be a rack. Now the rack is huge. It's not like those little racks you see that people have in their rooms. Imagine that rack, but 4 or 5 times that length. Packed, legit packed. You can't even go like this. It's packed with clothes. And they have certain extensions. They have extensions on each side that you can pull out to put even more clothes. And it's legit falling off the edge. Imagine all those clothes you have to put back. And you're probably thinking, where is this going to go? You have to find where all these items go and need to put them back in the section, regardless of they're blended or not. You need to put them all back. And sometimes some people will have 2 or 3 racks full of those. Racks, those take more than, honestly, it really depends. But you can legit spend hours doing that alone just to find where, especially if you're new to that section. If you're new to that section, bless your heart, because you're going to be there forever to try and find where each thing goes, walking around trying to figure out where does this go, where does that go, looking around trying to learn how to blend things. On top of that, you're trying to make sure your section is clean. On top of that, you're trying to have good customer service and smile and all this shit while people are asking you where this is, where that is, and you have to go and, you know, show them or direct them or walk around the store to try and find an item for them. So you have to do all of that for Forever 21. Okay, so that's go backs. By the end of the night, you have your go backs. You will be doing go backs for hours and hours. That's all you're doing, go backs all day. And even when the store closes, you're not leaving until 3 or 4 hours after, because you're trying to put clothes back. Okay, it's like that. So cleaning basically, any clothes on the floor, pick up. Hangers on the floor, pick up. People have clothes everywhere. Any clothes on this structures, no, what do they call them? I'm trying to think of what they call the racks, but whatever. Any clothes put on there need to be cleaned out. Like, that's just what it is. They need to be taken up. You need to put them up. What else? Tables. Refolding table. You want to make sure. You know, I'm not saying they have to be perfect, because they're all going to get messed up, obviously. If it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you're not going to go in and make your tables look perfect. But you want to clean them up and make them look decent. You have to do that. People throw piles of clothes on your tables that you have to pick, and a lot of times they're not even yours. People just put stuff places because they think it's cute, and put piles and piles of clothes up onto your sections that you have to clean up out of there. Sometimes people will have mesh bags piled with clothes, makeup, shoes, and they'll just throw them down on the floor somewhere, and you have to pick those up and you have to put them away, put them back where they belong. And then at the end of the night, you have to shake your hangers. So basically, all the hangers, you have to make sure they're all straight, leveled, pushed down, like tight. Everything needs to be in order at the end of the night. All that needs to be done. And when that's done, then you go in and get checked by a manager, and they have to make sure all your stuff is good, all your blending is right. If your blending is not right, they will pull it out the rack and they'll be like, look, can you have somewhere else? Depending on the manager. But you need to, all the little fixtures, that's what they're called, fixtures, all the fixtures and stuff, you know, where you need to use the hook that are up there, you need to make sure there are no loose hangers, empty hangers. They don't like that. They hate that. Take down all the loose hangers. Everything needs to be taken down. Everything needs to be pushed up, leveled. Tables need to be good. Go backs have to be done. Sometimes no one gets to leave till go backs are done, so you can be there till 2 in the morning. Doesn't matter, because they'll be like, oh, we're gonna leave together until we're done. It's legit like that. So that's, you know, what it is. Obviously, I know that, you know, I was already warned about the times, and it wasn't necessarily that being the problem, but it's just like annoyance. Like, I cannot deal. I don't like jobs that have, I like things that are micromanaged. Like the job I'm at now, it's very small. Everyone has their own department, and it's, you know, each department has its own manager, so you're able to micromanage things, and you're able to have more, it's like a better way to communicate. With Forever 21, there's so many employees, you can't micromanage everybody and be like, okay, I know that so and so has this going on, so I have to make sure they're off. I have to make sure that there's so many people. I'm pretty sure they basically go off of when you apply, what you put as your availability. That's what they go off of. It's too hard to micromanage everything, which is annoying. Like, you're just another like, there's so many people, legit a packet full of employees working there, so it's like you can't even expect them to really be able to micromanage every single thing, which is annoying. You know, my scheduling will sometimes be like Sundays. I don't work Sundays because I have school the next day. I'll be scheduled for Sundays. And I think really if that was the only job I had, I would be able to do it. But because of having another job plus with school, it's too stressful. And there's no way, like I said, I'm going to quit the other job to work at Forever 21, because it's not a sure thing that I am going to, you know, be kept, you know, which I think I would have been, because I was like a great employee, I have to say, like, but yeah, so, but I honestly wouldn't stay. I was so done. Like, the job is just too much. It's just very stressful. Like, the people are cool. They're, you know, I'm not gonna say them they're bad or anything. People are cool. It's just everything that comes into it. It's not worth it for me. I don't like it. I don't want to say I don't like retail at all, but from that, I'm not gonna say I'll never do retail again, because you never know. A job is a job, but that, hell no, never do that again. Like, I can't. It's just, I would really have to get the strength to really go back to retail and do some shit like that again, is basically what I'm saying. So that's what Forever 21 consists of, guys. It's not just cute clothes, okay? Behind it is a slave ship, okay? Slavery up in Forever 21, okay? No joke. Like, legit slavery. It's terrible, terrible. Okay, if you are going to work there, please watch this. Please think of this. I don't want to be negative. This is just from my experience. You know, there's people who have been working there for months and months, and they hate it, but they're still there because, you know, a job is a job. If that was my job and my sole job, that's why I say everything happens for a reason. Thank you, Jesus, that this was a seasonal job and I didn't quit my job and have this be an actual job. Because I would be, oh my God. So, you know, things happen for a reason. Some people like it. Some Forever 21s aren't as bad, you know, but just my little rant. Like, this is what my experience was with Forever 21. I'm still gonna shop there, but working there again, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna work there again. So everything, it was an experience though. I like to have new jobs, different jobs that, you know, kind of, it opens your eyes to see what people, you know, do now. Now when I do put stuff in my closet, I'm like, oh, let me turn the hanger this way and I have to style it. Like, it's just automatic now because I've been doing it. So, you know, you just get a new appreciation when, you know, people do stuff. I'm like, can you not do that? Can you fix that back? Can you put this way? Like, when I put stuff away, I'm like, oh, especially when the jeans, I try to, like, I'm like, oh, let me kind of, because I'm used to that now and I know what it's like. I'm like, yo, can y'all get your lives together? Because this is not easy, okay? So, yeah, that's basically it. That's my whole Forever 21 experience. You know, if you like the video, give a thumbs up. It's probably going to be this long. I'm sorry if it's this long. It was a lot to go through. It's not even half of it. It was just a lot. So, let me know what you think in the comments below. And thank you for watching. Bye.